Brad Pitt versus zombies movie.
I think it would have been a great movie if they didn't call it World War Z.
Yeah.
That's what they basically wanted. They were like, let's make a zombie movie and let's steal this let's hijack this property
Just
to make it, to like, glom onto their success.
Yeah.
Which is wild. In this day and age, you could be like, hey, let's not do that and come up with something original, and then it will do good. What's it called? Did the same thing. The giant monster movie.
The Pacific Rim?
The first one that was handheld.
Cloverfield?
Oh, Cloverfield,
And then
yeah.
even the last Cloverfield they've done multiple where it was literally a horror movie and they're like, oh, just slap Cloverfield and we'll change that.
Oh, what was that one with the Marines and the aliens came in? I felt that was more like World War Z than the World War Z movie.
Talking about Battlefield LA?
Yes.
Okay.
I felt like Battlefield LA.
I actually thought that was a pretty good movie.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was more like a World War Z movie than World War Z even was.
Dude, all they had to do was take World War Z, turn it into a mini-series on like HBO or something, and every chapter, that's an episode.
Like an anthology.
Yeah. Because every chapter is how one individual survived the zombie apocalypse.
It's so good the way they jump around like that, and I enjoyed the book.
I mean, your arm is World War Z, right?
Yeah, my entire sleeve on my left arm is World War Z.
So you must have felt like it was an affront when they kind of sacrileged. The movies just kind of tore it apart. Because I feel as though like HBO, when they saw how well... I'm blanking.
Walking Dead.
Yes. No, the other one. The video game that they did. The first one was, I thought, very good.
Last of Us?
Last of Us. I thought the first series was actually pretty damn good. And it's because they basically just took the video game.
They were
copied
like,
it.
"Fuck."
Yeah, and the second one's probably going to suck like the second video game sucked.
Yes.
But like that first season was killer. And if they had just done the same thing as like World War Z.
No, Pedro, don't go golfing.
It's kind of like how the people who made the Borderlands movie could have just taken Borderlands 2 and made it a fucking movie.
Nah, put Kevin Hart in it and make it fucking lame.
Fuck yeah! I love Borderlands. I was so fucking let down.
Okay. So what? Before I forget, the reason that I brought all that up, and let me just like work it into here because I feel like a lot of people probably will know about this, is Con Plan 8888. Which in the military, we have these things called con plans, which it's short for concept of a plan. And they're basically kind of like contingency plans. And so the Army, our tax money, we pay a ton of money towards we pay bureaucrats to come up with all kinds of just crazy what if scenarios. And legitimately, we pay like Steve out there and Carl to write out what would happen if a zombie attack happened. So there is a actual U.S. DOD con plan on zombie attack, how to fight a zombie attack. From the government to, I'm almost really quick. It's insane. And the only reason it was released was due to a FOIA request.
Freedom of Information Act.
Right, correct. For 3 years, it was secret. So people thought, hey, maybe this is like a disguised plan. Maybe it's a stand-in for like, how to actually do a martial law or like civil dissent. But it's like pages and pages. And it talks about how to put down, basically like a virus or, so
it would really do my heart good to know, like, if they just had like different plans where it's like fast movers, slow movers, 28 Days Later style zombies versus Walking Dead zombies. They just have all of those different plans put out.
Well,
Did they really
I will text it. I'll text it to you right now.
What do you know? Like this is
They legitimately, the Army points out, okay, here's how you fight fast movers. Here's how you fight slow movers. Here's how the government should respond.
Con Plan 8888?
Con Plan 8888. If you look it up, it's a PDF now because the government had to release it.
How much?
I love his meltdown videos.
So to make it less like
IV88. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. So to make it to get rid of, like, okay, so the boring idea of it is that it's just they were okay. Your average infantryman does not want to listen to a briefing, and if you put up a bunch of slides about, hey, how do we invade Nigeria? That's boring. But if you put up slides on how to fight a zombie apocalypse, that's more exciting. So that's like the boring justification for why they made it. But I'll send it to you guys. It's wild.
Well, what pisses me off is I literally just dropped a video, U.S. versus zombies, and I didn't know this fucking existed. So now God damn it! I'm gonna have to redo that fucking
stupid.
God, no.
How much did we spend on that?
Oh.
It was $38 million to write that up.
Listen, I wrote
I
the
could have wrote that bitch in fucking.
I wrote the same shit in
government
7th grade.
wrote
All
a-
right.
Oh, fucking Max Brooks already wrote the fucking thing.
About zombies. Your money went $38 million of your money went to a plan to fight zombies.
Do you remember what happened in World War Z? How they finally like destroyed all the zombies?
So what I liked was there was like the Battle of New York, right? Or the Battle
Yonkers.
of Yorktown,
The
Yonkers,
yeah.
which is just north of New York, yeah. And the zombies were like, their bodies were just piling up, and they had the Bradleys, and they had like, that was my favorite. To me, World War Z is all about the fact that how would modern military equipment fare against brain dead zombies, which was completely gone from the movie.
It didn't work.
Yeah. So they were just dropping like bombs,
Yeah,
and
they're
they just
dropping, like,
ended up
JDAMs
being
and all sorts of shit on
overrun
them. Yeah.
because the more you kill, like, just kind of adds to them.
But
But how
we
did it? I forget exactly how it ended.
Okay, so the way that they finally like corralled every zombie and they finally were able to clean up the world is they got a bunch of like sharpshooters. They taught everyone to shoot for headshots, and they had like basic infantry rifles. They had like M14s, like basic shit that will kill something in the brain in one hit. And they would blast like AC/DC, or they would blast metal music. And so they would get in a square and just wait for all the zombies to come to the music, and they would just pop them. And when you run out or you're feeling fatigued, you would pass your rifle back to the dude behind you, and they would come up. And so they would corral thousands of zombies around them and just destroy them all with headshots. And that's how they eventually solved it. It wasn't like super amazing fucking expensive military equipment. It just ended up being a dude with a rifle with like a 7.62 in it.
It wasn't Brad Pitt. It was just an average
Injecting himself with
infantryman.
something.
The thing that is like genius about that book is that they thought of that procedure. They thought of that like he has to pass the rifle to the next guy. Just that like granite level of how do you kill all these zombies was, to me, that was the beauty of World War Z.
For the one thing in the book that really, and it was the only thing that popped into my head when you were talking about how they finally eliminated them. I think it was during the Battle of Yonkers. Might have been one of the other chapters, but they.
I love how we're talking about this like it's actual military.
I know, right?
Obviously, the Battle of Yonkers.
We lost a lot of good men.
The chaplain, going around like there was somebody who was bit, reading them their final rites, and then just putting a bullet in their head like that. Dude, that's so fucking.
That was one of the chapters too.
Poor chaplain.
Dude, that's wild, man.
That's how chaplains get PTSD. Like, hey, you're going to execute people too. It's like, I signed up. What?
Yeah,
Hold
dude,
the fuck on.
Yeah, there's a whole chapter about the chaplain going around and having to do that.
Yeah, dude, like that's wild. That was the one thing that popped into my head as soon as you were talking about like how they finally finished them off. I was like, how did they? And then I thought chaplain. I was like, no, he didn't do it. Yeah.
It's a shit job right there.
Dude, it's wild. That book, if you guys have never read it, like read it. And something we were talking about before the podcast started, that is fucking Mel Brooks' son who wrote that. Mel Brooks of Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
did.
Wait, did he do
Cappy?
that? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Mel
he
Brooks'
do it under
son.
a different name?
No.
No, Max Brooks.
Max Brooks.
Oh.